declare that we have a quorum. We have Ms. Gento lead us in the word of prayer, please.
Father, I just want to thank you, dear Lord, for this day. Just thank you for the blessings you bestow upon us. Thank you for the rain you've sent our way, dear Lord. And even though it seems to be greedy, we still ask for more. I thank you, dear Lord, for the ability to come and have an open meeting and participation. I pray to Lord that decisions here today will be made with wisdom, clarity, and guidance from you only, dear Lord. I pray to Lord for our nation. You know, dear Lord, what we need, and we pray that you will be sovereign in it. And I ask, dear Lord, that you will bless each one here, and I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Let's pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got, so I will defer to the commissioners on this, but we have a bunch of folks from the hospital district here to talk about their deal. I would, if we could, I'd like to see us go ahead and hear what they've got to say, and then go ahead and that way we're taking care of their time, and then we can start on with our deal, because either now or later.
I'm good with that.
You go going about that?
Yes.
Okay.
Judge, are we moving to item M?
We're going to move to M, but we'll be back in M again, so.
Okay.
Plus we got Mr. Arthur here, so.
Okay.
Okay, y'all ready for me?
Yeah,
Okay, I have some handouts to pass out.
sure. Come up and have a seat.
I'm Heather Loftus. I'm the EMS manager over at the hospital. I've been in that position since March. I'm a licensed paramedic. This is my 8th year at Eastland. Very passionate, love Eastland, love working for the hospital and for the EMS service. Good, Judge.
Okay.
Did you get one? Okay, thank you. I know it looks like a lot of information. It can kind of be overwhelming, but I know there were a lot of questions that were left unanswered at the co-op meeting. So I was able to go back, and I just wanted to give an overview. I know if I was sitting in your positions, I'd want to know why we're asking for these increased subsidies. I know that they haven't been raised very much over the last 10 years, but as you look through this, you're going to see inflation, how it's affected us. So we'll go to the first part, and this was part of our co-op meeting. There was a question about the billing. If you'll go down and look, under the operating summary, there was a big difference in May and June. It was $142,000, $393, and then June it had dropped. Reached out to our rep at Emergicon, who's our billing service, and that drop was due to Medicare. The way the billing hit, the payments hit on the 29th and didn't post to the 1st of July. So I know that was one question that needed to be addressed. And so we're already at $67,000 for this month. And the next couple pages, it's just reading. If you want to look through them, it's just the trends. Cash highlights is kind of like where the hospital's sitting right now. And then the detailed cost at the end there.
Heather, I noticed on the financial highlights on that deal, we still
Yes,
don't
sir.
have any salary information.
Okay, so if you'll...
At least on that sheet.
Yeah, on that sheet, if you'll go down here, and we're going to go, there's a whole section on staffing we're going to get to pretty quickly. If you'll go to operation costs and maintenance, we'll go through that first, and then we'll go to the salary. But under the operational costs, you'll see the salary there at the very top. And that's just for 23 and 24. There was an increase. I'm not real sure when we got our increase in pay. I want to say it was like 22, right around COVID time. But I know there was a significant increase due to overtime in the months of October through May. And we'll get to that under staffing. But these are the number differences you'll see here. And I know it's like when you look at it, it's significant. But we've had a lot of people out with injuries, illnesses. There's no paramedics to fill those positions. So we have a lot of paramedics working overtime.
Are you taking any runs?
Yes, sir. And I don't get paid extra for it. I'm salary. Yeah, I've actually picked up 2 shifts this week. So free money for there. But you'll see also, if you'll look under the income statement, the oxygen and other gases, just some of the supplies. You can see the increase over just the last 2 years. And you're going to get more detailed if you go to the 3rd page under that. You'll look at you'll have salary productive here, where in 21 it was 624,000.
What sheet are you on? I'm sorry.
This one. It's the
That
3rd
one?
one. Yeah. So if you're looking under the salary productive here, you'll see in 21 it was 624,000, and then it just steadily increased. 23 and 24, the end of 23 was a rough time. We had, like I said, several people that were out due to surgeries, injuries, that sort of thing. So that's when you'll start seeing the increase into 24, was all that overtime. And then you'll go down further and you'll just start seeing the increase over our supplies and like oxygen and stuff. You'll see the steady increase over 4 years, how much more it's costing us. And then you'll go down even further. You look under vehicle gas and oil and maintenance, the steady increase of that. I mean, in 21, it was 34,000 for gas and oil. This year, 52,000. So you're seeing a pretty good increase over 4 years. Any questions over that?
So what do you specifically think that accounted for an $84,000 deficit?
Specifically, I think it's inflation with the cost of fuel, maintenance, staffing, overtime. And some of those things are just out of our control. There's nothing we can do to fix that. And when you go to staffing challenges, you'll see why. I did a lot of research over the last few days. Behind staffing challenges, that sheet, you'll see who our staff is, all the experience they have. I have 6 of our employees that are in school right now to level up to paramedic or intermediate. They all received grants through the RAC system to do that, which means it requires them to commit to a paramedic 2 years to our service with 96 hours a month, and an EMT would be 1 year, 96 hours. So for staffing, we're going in a really good direction. After you look at that sheet, the next sheet will kind of show you where all the overtime came from between the months of October and June. We had an employee fall through a patient porch. She dislocated her ankle and broke it. She was out for 3 months. And we had another patient that had to have surgery. She was out for 6 weeks. And then we lost 2 paramedics, one to retirement, one was dismissed. And then, so during that time, you've got just a handful of paramedics trying to cover shifts. And they were wore out, and I was one of them included. It was a lot. There was nobody to hire. There's nobody knocking down our door to come work here. Right now, our log for potential candidates is empty. There's none. So that kind of explains where all that overtime came from. And that could have contributed to the deficit. And then if you'll move over to this is a DSHS site. This is who we get our licensing through. This is after the pay, the employment pay. That next page. There you go. Next page. There you go. This actually really surprised me. I didn't know this. I went to the government website, who we get all of our certifications through when we come to work as a paramedic, EMT. When we finish school, we have to go also test with them. And if you look at, there's only 742 providers in the state of Texas. This is just the state of Texas. And then you look at, these are the only certifications. You have to have these certifications to work on an ambulance. There's only 40,000 EMTs in the state of Texas. We're fighting to get those employees. We're fighting. 22,000 just regular paramedics. And then you got your 9,000. A regular paramedic and a licensed paramedic can do the same thing on a truck. So you're looking at like around 31,000 paramedics in the state of Texas that we're fighting to get to come work here. So as far as having extra paramedics, PRN paramedics to fill in overtime, it's just impossible. Next page is just kind of a projected trend that I got off that website as well. It doesn't look very promising. I will add to that, though, the RAC here at the Big Country, which we're part of, we have 50 potential candidates that are in paramedic school. And then we have some EMTs. TSTC has about 20-something paramedics in school. And then we have another school, Texas EMS in Abilene. So we do have some potential paramedics coming out. You can probably only expect about half of them to graduate and get their license. So in the future, I'll be fighting to try to grab some of them. Next page, average salary statistics. I went on 3 popular recruiting websites, and this kind of gives you what they're paying. This is for Texas. And currently there's over 900 paramedic level jobs with 1,000 plus EMT job openings. And then if you'll go to the next page, these are 2 local neighboring EMS services. South Taylor, which is who I have worked for and still work PRN for. It gives their salaries. And then, of course, MetroCare, which is an in-city ambulance service, which in-city service ambulance services, they run completely different than rural. Your rural services require so much more a level of skill that you don't have to have when you work in the city. Because in the city, you have your patient for about 10 minutes. Out here, we can have our patient for over an hour or longer. And if you go to the next page, it just kind of explains the difference between city EMS and rural EMS. And how we work our trucks here, because I'm not real sure how familiar you guys are. We have 2 primary trucks. We keep 1 here in Eastland 24/7. It has 1 medic, 1 EMT, or intermediate. And we have 3 shifts, and they're 48-hour shifts. And then the same thing over at Cisco. And we back each other up. We also take transfers. We don't go any further than Weatherford so that we don't have 1 truck out of the county for too long. Because it leaves the other truck here to take care of everything. Almost 1,000 square miles. It's a lot. Our protocols for this service are pretty progressive. We have like 48 medications that can be given at any moment that we carry on every truck. We also have critical cardiac and respiratory management skills available from the staff, and that's really important. We do have some outdated respiratory equipment that we're working on grants right now from Hamilton Vent. We did recently receive some basic model vents that can be utilized for just basic airway management. And I know, Judge, you specifically had asked about grants. I don't want to seem like I wasn't concerned about grants. I am very concerned about grants and always will be. It's just unfortunate being part of a hospital-based service. Grants for ambulances are just non-existent. Now, for certain pieces of equipment, yes. We are part of a RAC system. It's for the Big Country with several other services, a lot of rural services. Let's see. And to stay compliant with RAC, it does require a little bit of work on my part. I have to attend monthly meetings. We have to turn in lots of surveys, information, just tracking up with patients, the type of calls we run. We usually get about $9,000 a year from them that we'll use for equipment like fluid warmers, tires, furniture, if we need it for the station. Any of that leftover money that we don't use, it goes back into the hospital fund to pay for like gas and stuff like that. And then we usually get about $1,500 to $2,000 a year, or every 2 years from RAC, and that's strictly for education. And we use that for continuing education. We have to do so many hours required by the state, so that's what we use that money for. Let's see. Recently, we did get a grant for 3 new pagers. It costed $1,500. The hospital paid for it up front, and then we were reimbursed. We're going to program them ourselves to save $150. So we try to save money anywhere we can. And then right now we're currently working on a TASPP grant program with Emergicon. And this is to regain some reimbursement for patients with certain financial requirements. It's known as a charity care, uncompensated care. And it's for individuals that don't have commercial insurance, Medicare, Medicaid. They're below the poverty line. And they have to meet certain requirements, and it's a case by case. So we've started that process, and we're on that list. And then the fun part. This is where you really, the ugly part. If you want to flip to the vehicle fleet inflation, this is pretty surprising, and I'm sure y'all see this when in your everyday life when you're looking at new vehicles or purchasing anything big. Compared to 4 years ago, it's grown a lot. So Medic 4 is our primary Cisco truck. It is the newest truck that we just purchased. It was purchased in March of this year, and it cost $139,404. You look at the truck Medic 5, who is also stationed over at Cisco, but we use that for transfers so that we can keep the miles down on the new truck. So we'll use the old truck. Medic 5 is our oldest truck. We'll use those for transfers when we take a transfer from the hospital. So that's kind of how we rotate them. That truck currently has 152,000 miles. And it only cost $109,000 in 2017. So these trucks, when we buy them, we buy just the chassis. And then we remount our box on all 4 trucks. Those boxes we've been remounting since 1998. And they're still in good shape. So they just go in and refurbish them, and we remount them. So that saves a lot of money. If we were to have to buy a new truck and a box, you're looking at over $300,000. Well, it's probably going to be closer to 4 now. And then you'll have Medic 6, who's the second newest truck. It's stationed over here at Eastland. It cost $138,000 in 22. And then Medic 7, which is the transfer truck over here we use for transfers. It was purchased in 2018, and it cost $108,000. It has 162,000 miles on it, which is a lot of miles when you're taking transfers. So, and I've had it happen. Breaking down in an ambulance in between here in Weatherford on the side of the interstate with a patient is not fun, especially if they're critical. That's the biggest need. We need trucks. And then the last 2 pages are the quote for a new truck to replace one of the old ones.
And how are we paying for that?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
You're $84,000 upside down right now, and now you're saying that there's $136,000 would potentially be added onto that, which doesn't even account for what you were saying is the potential inflation or other stuff that's here.
I'm not a finance person.
I'm not either.
I understand where you're coming from, and it's like I don't know where to pull the money from. I don't know how to come up with it. I just know what our needs are for the county, to take care of the county. EMS is in a very fragile state everywhere, not just us, just across Texas and in other states. It's very fragile. we've been surviving. We've been limping these 2 old trucks along. Multiple repairs. I do have the maintenance log for you if you want to look at it. I'd be more than happy just to leave that with you. So, I mean, that's all of it in a nutshell. I mean, it's information you can use to make an informed decision on how we're going to handle it going forward. I don't know if this is just some notes I had received from our finance with the projected, I guess, subsidy increase for a total. So you're going for a total between all 4 Eastland counties, city of Eastland, Cisco, and the hospital. You're going from $383,000 to $468,000, which is not. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but
It is a lot.
compared to other services, it's not. You bring in an outside service, and wow, I'm just saying.
So you gave us a lot of information, and I appreciate you bringing that, and I appreciate everybody that's here today. One of the questions that I had, and I had it at that co-op meeting, and I know Mr. Archer also had it as well, is what are we doing on the collection side as far as trying to increase our collections versus the calls and.
Well, what we get is 33%. And through talking through other services, and even my predecessor, Gene, of 47 years experience, he said 33% is pretty amazing for a service. So I don't know how we're going to increase that. Emergicon, the more they get means the more they make, which means the more we get. So they're going to do their best to get what they can, because that's how they make their money. So it's just one of those things.
Yeah, but we've experienced that same situation, and that's not always true.
Okay.
Sometimes they take what's easy.
Okay.
Because we experience that same situation on debt collection.
Okay.
Sometimes, I mean, you're talking about thousands of traffic tickets and stuff like that we have to do that with. And sometimes it's just send a letter. If they pay, they pay. If they don't, they forget it. Mm-hmm. Because in the long run, they're making money anyway. What's
the solution to that? I mean, how do y'all address that?
We fire them and hire somebody different. Okay. I mean, you ask. That's what we do. If we're not seeing the results,
do you get improvement when you hire somebody different? Is it the same thing again?
You do initially.
You do initially because everybody's.
So does that cost more firing somebody and hiring somebody?
Not on our end.
No, because it's all on them.
It is a trial and error type situation. I understand that.
Yeah.
So we basically, you're going up on us, and I'm just rounding off. Okay. 26,000. Cisco and Eastland are both going up basically 19,000.
David, we gave an additional how much last year?
We went from 87 to 120. And now we're going up from, back Loretta did a good job.
And I didn't bring it.
From last year, we went up whatever the percentage was.
Well, for the differences in the cities, I have a detailed, and I don't know if it's of interest to you, report for each, like Eastland, our calls, our Cisco calls, and then our county calls. And it also has our in-city, our out-of-city numbers in there. I don't know if that helps with anything or not. To understand.
Yeah, because I mean, basically I'm trying to figure out what I'm paying for. Am I paying for the entire county?
No, if you go
outside of
I have a detailed section in there, and it'll show your calls. This is a combined one, but if you go to Eastland, and you'll see the difference in calls for Eastland versus Cisco. which is, I mean, it's not a huge amount, but it's more some months, and I pulled these numbers from all the reporting that we do, like all the, because I do QAs and reporting and billing every single morning. I go through every single report that a medic writes to send to billing to make sure they have checked all the boxes, dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's, so that it gets billed appropriately to its max. And that's done every day, and it's pretty time consuming, but I do it. And these numbers, that's what that comes from.
So looking at that sheet there, you have within the city limits, there was 647. Out of the city was 170.
Which one are you looking at, Eastland?
I'm trying to figure out which.
It says Eastland in the corner. Here, are you on Eastland?
No, I'm gonna
No,
combine.
he's reading the combined, the very first.
That'll be the whole, combines the whole county.
Okay.
And
We'll
then
talk
the
about
last,
combined.
okay, so the combined, that's the whole county, yes. And if you want to look individually at Eastland, then you can go to the Eastland one.
No, I'm
Okay.
not focusing on that. What I'm focusing on is if this is the combined one, just so you and I are on the same page.
Yes, sir.
So you had 647 calls within the city limits, and then you had 170 calls in the county.
Right.
And then it says county aggregate. that-
Those are just calls that didn't fall within, they weren't marked within, like maybe it was Olden, maybe it was Lake Leon, stuff like that. Maybe it was, an area that's not really listed. It wasn't marked on the report.
So, and I'm just, Heather, I'm not trying to be
I know.
adversarial. I'm just trying to
No.
understand this.
And I'm trying to help.
So basically, for 170 calls, I've gone up 31.31%.
Well, that's for half the year.
Okay. What was half the year?
You're
But this
you're
right
saying
here-
it went up 170 calls.
So what's the projected on that then?
We usually do around 2,500 calls a year.
Okay, so we're at, you're in June now. You'd have to more than double the
Yep.
within the city limit calls, and then you would have to almost double the out of city limits
Yeah,
calls.
but winter's not here. Wait till respiratory season hits.
I'm just asking.
I know,
you the
I
question.
know, and you don't know
mean,
that.
You and I can play tic tac all morning long if you want to. 'Cause
No.
I get paid by the month.
I know. And I'm not trying to be smart. I'm really not, because I'm more clinical. You're more business. And on the clinical side of it,
The clinical's not writing the check. The business. is.
exactly. And that's what I'm learning here. Like I said, please give me grace. I've been doing this since March. I'm doing the best I can with what I got to work with.
And I understand, and I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around the figures. I understand this is 6 months worth of data, and I understand that we're halfway through the year. I'm just trying to figure out what this number's potentially going to look like by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Because y'all's budget year is on this particular deal is January to December. Okay, and then the hospitals is what? Isn't the hospital different, or is
It
this
is different. What is it, Cindy?
July 1st through June 30th. And this is actually October through September. Their budget year is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's kind of what ours is. Well, then, but the data's only January through
Yeah.
December on the calendar. Why'd you guys do it that way?
I think she just pulled the 2024 stuff,
I
rather
did.
than going back to October.
Okay, that's fine.
I
That's
should have
fine.
done that.
I'm just trying to figure.
That's my mistake.
But that to me does not. That skews the numbers. If we're looking at the data that and I'm not faulting you for that because I could have done the same thing. Is that if you're only looking at this and saying, well, we're 6 months through here, well, you're a lot further than that on the budget year.
You can look at the first sheet and it's got the October through June for those numbers. It's just not as detailed.
Yeah, I usually do a generic, and this is a more detailed to give you the specifics of each city, each town, in county, out of county, that sort of thing. And this is more of a general.
No, I appreciate you getting the information together. I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around the deal because
I
this is data.
And it's a lot of money.
This is data that we did not have at that meeting, and that was kind of my complaint was that you guys are handing us a bill for.
Well, that was my goal, was to try to gather as much as I could to help you see where that money's going, because I feel like you should know that we're not just asking for money to just blow, because we don't. I mean, we use everything up till we just can't use it anymore.
So going back to the collection part, that's the part that I think is getting us in the deal. So are we still not collecting for, or attempting to collect on somebody declining services? I don't know what that would be called.
A no ride.
Yeah, it's a no ride, but they're saying no. I'm good to go.
Okay. Well, first of all, I think inside the city of Eastland, even if the patient declines an ambulance, it is their protocol to call us anyway. So for us to charge somebody that didn't even want an ambulance to begin with, I don't think that's fair.
I don't disagree with that. So the two scenarios, and I mentioned this at the meeting and stuff, is one, Commissioner Wilson is in a wreck, and I show up in my squad car, and I say, "Hey, send Medic 6 over here," and then they come over to look at him, and they say, "You don't want to go." I can't see charging him on that situation. Right. Same situation. Commissioner Wilson has a wreck. He calls the ambulance, and you show up and you treat him, and he says, "I don't want to go." I think he ought to get a bill. Yeah,
and that doesn't happen that often. We do charge for no rides on ALS, like if we do an advanced assessment, usually like a chest pain or something like that. We have to do a 12 lead to try to diagnose if they're having a cardiac event, and we will send a bill for that. They get a flat bill for that. If the patient is Medicare, Medicaid, of course their insurance isn't going to pay for it because that's a CMS regulation. If we go to an elderly person's home, they decide because the son called, the elderly person did not want the son to call. We check him out. He still refuses to go. We didn't provide any ALS care. He's not getting a bill because Medicare and Medicaid's not going to pay for it. Does that make sense?
Not really. I understand what you're saying, but that doesn't make any sense to me.
So you think he should still get a bill if we just go there and do some vital signs and check his blood sugar?
I think that if you're going up there, and I understand, well, I don't understand because you guys are a business.
Well, yeah.
Is that if I am running a business and I send, a plumbing truck there,
they should get a flat fee.
Well, I guarantee you call a plumber and he shows up and you go, "You know what? I fixed it after all." He's going to hand you a bill for showing up.
Yeah.
You show up, you whatever you call an electrician. I mean, this is how businessmen work. They go up and that's how they make money, because if they keep giving out free services, then you're upside down. It's easy to sit there and say, "Well, you guys are a government entity," but you're not. You're a business, and that's where I think some of the concerns were: is are we maximizing collections? Are we doing whatever? Are we going after all the grants that we can? Again, yes. I use the City of Rangers ambulance. They got a $300,000 ambulance.
They're not tied to a hospital.
I understand, and I don't know.
And maybe that will change when we become trauma-based. I don't know. Maybe things will open up, but I have lots of networking that I've been dealing. When I go to the RAC, you've got the whole big country. You've got all their management there for representing all the rural services, and they're all sitting in the same place that we are. They really are. I also volunteer at Cross Plains EMS and the fire department over there. Getting grants used to be pretty easy, especially for the fire department. EMS, I mean, they were without a truck, like it was dead in the water, and they couldn't even get an emergency fund grant, and they're just volunteer. So grants right now are extremely hard to get. The government's handing out educational stuff right now, but they're not handing out like equipment stuff right now, unfortunately. And I hope that changes. I don't know if it's going to with the election coming up. I don't know.
Well, my only deal, and I'm not speaking for I'm not speaking for commissioners. I'm not speaking for the city of Cisco or Eastland or whatever. What I'd like to see is, this is why our money went up, and I'm not saying that you didn't provide that, but I'm just saying I'm talking about overall. This is why we're upside down. This is what we're doing to try to prevent this from happening in the future or try to recoup the deal. This is the grants and stuff that we've gone after. We've done absolutely everything we can. We've managed our time. We've managed whatever, and this is where we're at.
And I feel like that's what I provided for the most part, because I did give you 2 pages of grant stuff that we've been working on. I've given you the increase of the fuel cost, maintenance cost, and then I've also given you the inflation on vehicles. Is there something else I can provide?
I mean, no. I'm not saying that there's not. I'm just saying right now at this point we don't. I appreciate what you did bring.
Okay.
My point is that's not what I had at the meeting last week.
Okay.
And that's not what the city manager from Cisco had. That's not what the mayor from Eastland had. So this is a whole lot more beneficial for us to be able to look at it and try to digest it. And I think what we're going to have to do is just. And
that was my goal. I wanted you to be informed.
It's just table it for now until we can have a chance to do that. Unless one of the commissioners has a question.
Well, to comment on what you were talking about, if they just build $100, according to your stats here, there was 803 no bills.
Okay.
You just build $100 and you collected 33% of that. That's $26,500 right there.
Okay. I definitely think it's something.
You know what I'm saying? That's what you were talking about, Dave. There was 803 calls where there was no invoice paid
For the whole county?
For the whole county. Well, your total numbers on the front page here. And like I say, if you build $100 and you collected 33% of it, it's $26,500 right there.
Well, does that?
And I understand that's
in getting 33% of that.
Yeah.
Okay. How about I will definitely look into that and research that and see how we can go about. Just let me look into that. That's good information. Because I'm all about trying to, unfortunately it is a business. Our first priority is patient care for the county and giving them the best we can. But I know we still have to make enough to at least break even and pay our bills. But it's a county thing, so.
What's a county and a city deal?
Yeah, it's not just on the county. That's what I mean. Yeah, so.
Mr. Archer, when's your city commission meeting?
So we have a meeting this evening. Then we have them on the second floor Mondays.
I think Joe and Nancy wanted to say something. Did you want to say something?
No, we'll be at that meeting.
Though. Okay, all right.
I think Mr. Wright can speak to some of the billing things though, that why some of those aren't billed. I
didn't hear you, Nancy.
Why some of those aren't billed. Why we don't choose to not bill them.
In the eyes of the Medicare people, if we don't provide a service, we can't bill. So I will say that our practice is consistent with my years of experience, but I can look and see if it's possible to have that on our charge master to charge for. I know load run. I get the analogy with the plumber. Absolutely do. It would be new to the medical field, I know.
It would be. In our area, the big country. I don't know any other service in our big country rack system that does that.
I'm not saying, I'm not holding you necessarily responsible for whether the patient pays or doesn't pay, and if obviously if there's a law or a statute or something that says, hey, you can't do it in that situation. I understand that.
Right.
I'm not trying to get versed enough in this so that I can run the ambulance service. But what I'm trying to do is figure out what's the best practice from a business standpoint, and whether anybody else is doing it or not. Is it possible to do that? Now, if you send the bill out and Commissioner Wilson doesn't pay it, I understand that. I mean, I understand people in today's time, a lot of them don't pay what they're supposed to be paying. But I'd feel a whole lot better saying, hey, we had this much money out there that we billed for that would have been more than enough to compensate for any of the things that we talked about, that you've talked about were inflationary and things like that, versus this is what we actually got. And I just don't know. I'm kind of in that middle ground of not knowing, is there something that we could be doing or that y'all could be doing that would be different? And at the end of the day, if you come up there and say, look, we can't get any grants, we've got to do all this other stuff. Part of and I'll be honest with you, Heather, when I asked you about the grant deal, and then Emily said, well, we checked yesterday. I thought, well, we've been, 3 weeks ago we had this conversation, and yesterday was the first time we talked about it. I mean, that's a little frustrating for me when I'm thinking we've got to compensate. You're asking me to, at that point, didn't know how much it was going to go up, or we'd have had probably even a livelier conversation if I'd known I was fixing to get hit for another 26 grand.
In response to that, I apologize if my attitude came off as if I didn't care, because I do care. But currently, I'm not just a manager. I'm also filling spots on the truck. I have a huge learning curve that I'm still going through. I can
sympathize with that.
Yeah, and I have a mentor of 47 years that's right there, one phone call away, that's helping me. So to get down and just sit all day and look for grants, I have not had that opportunity. A lot of mine is when I'm out talking, speaking, networking. That's the information I get. And then if you go online and look, you're just constantly looking and there's nothing. So to get in there and dig, you have to dig really deep, and I haven't found anything without digging really deep. Does that make sense?
Yeah, my only deal was you'd have gotten kudos for saying, look, I've done everything I can. I'm spending you know what, I cut my morning coffee break down to 15.
I don't get a morning coffee break.
12 minutes because instead of 15.
I go from the truck to the office.
Well,
I was here Saturday night until after midnight working on this stuff. So,
we'll have a disaster.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
There's disasters going on right now.
No, I know. I've gone through them. So, Darwin, did you have anything that you wanted to add? Or
no, sir. Other than I would love to see the information that y'all got today.
I can give you a copy.
Appreciate that.
We can run a copy if you want.
I have plenty.
Okay.
Is that all you need from me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you guys for being here. And like I said, I wanted to push you guys up. I keep looking for the clock over there. It's over here. I wanted to push you guys up to the front of the list so we didn't have you tied up and with patients falling out of the sky or something that somebody wasn't there to catch them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan.
All right. Thank you.
Nancy, thank you. Heather, thank you. Emily, thank y'all. Cindy. Okay. You what?
I don't have to read this.
No.
You're more than welcome to sit through the watching the paint dry as much as you like. All right, we've gone on there. Darwin, did you get that?
I did. Thank you.
You're not going to visit about that at some point in time. All right, consent agenda.
Yes, sir.
Item number 3. What have we got, Ms. Gento?
I have the minutes from the regular meeting of June the
Thank you, Darwin.
June the 24th, July the 8th, and I have the special minutes from June the 25th, 26th, and 27th.
We didn't get no
I didn't get any minutes.
Oh. Ginger?
Well, they were on the last meeting.
I think
Yeah, they were on the attachments. Ginger sent them out last week. Do you want to look at them? They do have corrections. Loretta asked that we wait last meeting to approve them because she had some fund numbers.
Some fun numbers?
Some changes.
No fun numbers, bond.
I'd love to see some fun numbers in this budget cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, they weren't attached. You know? There was just 10 attachments on what we got.
You want to look at them?
No. As long as you may be correct.
I did make the corrections. Loretta and Sonia verified. and we changed some more. So the first minutes you got were never presented, so I could take that and change it up. So, and that's what we did. And we'll get you copies of them. Ginger will send them out. They filtered through sporadically through her. Personnel report, I have none. I have certification of additional revenue. I have amendment changes by fund.
You didn't get those either.
I just got those this morning. They were not emailed out.
We're not.
They were not. Investment report.
Oh, yeah, they should have been. Okay,
Yeah, we didn't get none.
okay.
And investment report I received unsigned, but Christina provided me one that was signed this morning. Auditor's report is unreconciled July the 15th, 2024. I did not receive that in the email, but I got it this morning. The treasurer's report of financial condition. I got that in the email June the 30th, 2024. It's the affidavit.
Affidavit and report.
And report, okay.
June report.
For the June, yeah. And then department financial reports. I got the AgriLife. We failed to get it on last agenda, so I'm presenting today. Bills, claims, and accounts. I have 11 received. Is that right?
I only have 9.
I have 9,
Okay. Well, there are 11 attachments, so
but the investment report and
was with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are 9 of those.
11 attachments.
Okay. Certificates of course completion, Open Meetings Act, Public Information Act, and Cybersecurity. I have no reports. Purchasing acknowledgements. I have no reports. And I can fill any questions.
You should have
Possibly.
purchasing acknowledgement on Bailey Edgar and Salvador Marino, and I
this
can
is,
make you copies.
and this is cybersecurity.
This is purchasing
Okay. And
acknowledgement.
who was it again? Bailey.
Bailey, Bayli, last name Edgar, Edgar,
Okay.
and Salvador Marino.
Marino.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I did not get those in the email.
Okay.
How can we? I'm missing stuff.
I don't know. I know Ginger, correct me if I'm wrong, but she did send out an email saying when she needed the deadline by.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they're just not making the deadline or I don't know.
Okay. What's next?
I'd like to go over the financial report,
Okay.
and I think Christina would like to go over hers also. So as of July 15th, and I'm looking at pages 1 and 2, the actual ending balance, and this is general ledger balance of all funds on deposit for the county, $9,982,798.64. General fund, $4,617,548.61, and road and bridge, $482,051.52. You have a statement of revenue and expense.
Well, we didn't get that.
Yeah, we didn't know that.
We did not get that report. All we've got financial report is the one that she sent us with a copy of the affidavit attached.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have any of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just looked again. It's not. We didn't get anything for July. We
Okay.
just got the June report you sent to us.
I will send them again for next Commissioner's Court then. Or I can make copies of certifications of additional revenue and budget amendments, so I can go ahead and do those.
Yeah, we didn't get none of that.
Okay. Sonia?
Ginger just sent us some
But you have certifications, right?
You handed them to me this morning,
Okay. If you will make
but I
5
did
of
not
those,
give them in the
please.
email.
Oh, wait. And 5 of those.
While y'all are looking at that, I have the report for June. On the top is the affidavit that certifies that the amount of cash and assets in the custody of my office as of June 30th was $9,418,093.60. There is a spreadsheet of bank account totals for the month ending of June. Fund balance report, which gives you the beginning cash balance, revenues, expenses, and ending cash balance, which is the next to the last column on the right. At the end of June, according to the general ledger, we had $10,199,304.55. Eastland County debt is your 4 lease payments for road and bridge. Fund summary. This is the interest statement. This is the interest as of, oh, I'm sorry, I did it for the wrong months. That's for 2023, but I did it for the wrong months. But the second page after that is as of June 30th, 2024, we earned $340,011.48 in interest. We have the Prosperity Bank pledged security listing, First Financial Bank pledged security listing with a pledged market value of $13,065,691.88. And that's it. So my report is for the month, according to statute, at least at a regular session, at least once a month. I can do it twice a month if y'all would like. It's up to you.
Now, this is a new
Thanks for sending
breakout.
The short copy, not the 300-page report.
No, that's the one I have
That's
to do.
her.
Yeah,
This
Yeah.
is mine.
that makes it a lot easier for me to look at.
And this is going to be what it's going to be like every time on 3C. Right now, it's on number 5, correct? This
Correct.
is what you'll be presenting
Correct.
from here on out. Okay.
Yes, and like I said, it says at least once a month. So it's up to you if you want just the monthly
judge doesn't like
totals.
signing that much.
I know.
mean,
I still don't see your report on the stuff that was sent.
So Christina's,
Yeah,
She sent
she
it
sent it
Friday.
herself.
She
I sent mine Friday.
okay.
She's always good
That's
about
why.
sending that out. Usually
Yes,
after
I have
Ginger
to.
sent hers.
I've got multiple
Oh, thank you.
emails that I'm looking at.
Christina sent hers out at 3:53 Friday afternoon.
That would be when I got it done.
Yeah.
We were all out of whack on Friday with not having access to Tyler.
We couldn't get in it this morning.
Into
Really?
ESS or,
Yeah,
or
ESS.
parallels.
No, ESS.
Yeah, nobody could.
Really?
I was able to log on, but I couldn't do much of it.
Well, it showed I logged on, then it showed I couldn't do nothing. And then Kenneth couldn't even log on to do his paper time sheet.
They did updates Saturday morning, so I'm sure they're getting lots of calls right now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you, Christine.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I vote for once a month.
Okay, I can do that. Thank you.
What are you ready to do?
I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Oh,
Hold
as
on.
soon
She's
as you
making
get
copies.
copies.
Yeah, she's making copies. Thank you.
While she's making copies, I'm going to go copy the personnel report and the purchasing acknowledgements.
Awesome.
Bye, Nancy.
See you, Nancy.
Yes.
You don't want to stay for the whole thing?
Well, I worked on an hour and
Nancy, thank you. So what are we getting printed?
The July unreconciled reports, the certificates of additional revenue that you've got to sign, and the,
Amendment by changes properly.
I don't think she's doing the unreconciled report. I think
Okay.
she was just doing certification of additional revenue, amendment changes by fund, personnel report, just the ones that need to be done.
Okay. Well, to be cognizant of y'all's time, where are we at 4A on the burn ban? Where are we at on the burn ban?
I'm good with it,
Are you keeping it on or keeping it off?
keeping it off.
It's on.
It's on.
Yeah.
The burn ban is on.
The burn
You
ban.
need to take it off?
Yeah,
No.
everybody's burning.
Last time we kept it on.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
rained since then. Whatever, don't mind me.
Make the motion.
To take it off? Okay. Motion by Mr. Raines, second by Mr. Wilson, I'm assuming.
Effective immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work.
I'm sorry, who seconded it?
Ronnie.
Oh, he made the motion.
Okay, I seconded it.
Now you're just getting picky.
I know, right?
Next meeting's not this Monday, the next, right?
No, it's 3 weeks.
No,
No,
we
it's the
we have
fifth.
specials
Is it
on the
fifth?
I
fifth.
believe it's
Oh.
the fifth. I don't have a calendar, but I can see.
I don't think we voted.
Yeah.
I'm out.
No, I'm trying to make sure that we got enough
Yeah, my
time
calendar
to
said we
do
got a meeting
The
the
fifth.
24th,
Ginger, when's our next meeting?
but we didn't have one for today.
Huh, how odd. It is.
Ginger,
What they sent me.
She can't get in.
I'm gonna try next
Yeah, give her
meeting
one.
to have projected expenses to add HR. I'm working on it.
August 5th.
this is the next meeting?
Yeah, that's what she said.
Okay. Okay, so we still good then? All right, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Let's go ahead and do C while we're rushing along here. Set the 2025 planning holiday schedule, Ms. Gento.
Do you have any emergency amendments?
Yeah, but I'm just skipping over that so we can get, so we can
Let me
move
find.
along.
I've given y'all copies. They're the exact same ones, number, as we had last year.
I'll make the motion to
Hold on.
accept it.
Yeah, get to it. Motion, okay.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Raines, second by Mr. Maxwell. All those in favor say aye. Post same sign. All right, motion carries.
My office will get y'all each a copy. Email it out or whatever, so you can have it for your staff and yourself.
What line did we
No.
just accept? C,
See,
C,
the holiday schedule.
Yeah, holiday.
holiday.
and the burn ban, we took it off.
Yeah, thank you guys for that. We appreciate it.
Okay, so now we're backtracking, or we ready to backtrack, or?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank
So, we're moving all of those this way. Certifications.
There are times I send emails and I'll send it and it'll just sit there as a draft and it won't send. I don't know.
No, I don't have drafts.
You don't have drafts in your email?
No. Well,
Okay,
when I have them, I look at them.
so go back up to consent agenda items. I now have a personnel report. And y'all should have the certificate of additional revenue. And I have the course completion certificates on, I'm sorry, purchasing acknowledgements. What else do y'all have? Did you give them the July 15th
No,
unreconciled?
no, I'll just present that one next time.
Okay, so we're removing that. Gotcha.
Are you ready?
I think.
I'll make it to accept the consent agenda.
Okay.
Motion by Mr. Raines, second by Mr. Maxwell. All those in favor say aye. Post same sign. Motion carries.
We need to sign, Jake.
One step forward and two steps back.
Cotton Eye Joe.
Do you want mine now or do you want to wait?
Oh, let's wait. Did Ginger email you out those minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't.
She emailed them, she emailed your time too.
Oh, she did? Okay.
She said three.
These need to be signed, Judge.
Oh, are those you? What are those? Those are yours.
No, that's what Sonia made copies of. All I had was mine, so these are actually yours. Oh,
Are
no,
you talking about
then you
those?
don't need those. Okay,
Those are just for your signature.
that means. Oh, is that your set?
Sure. I'll put up the rest of the trees.
Kathy, will you email us the holiday schedule?
Yes, I'll get it out to every department.
Okay.
Don't sit at the office because then my employees don't want to take off.
They're already off, Joe. I sound like Bill right now.
I'm talking about physically off.
August. It's coming up quickly.
So on these holidays, these are the same numbers, and these follow this kind of the same format of the when there's 2 versus 1, all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
All right, good enough.
What's your name?
All right, so where we at? We signed up with what? We're not
Almost
signed up.
there. Almost there.
What are we waiting on?
It's not on that end, I'm caught up.
Well, good gosh. A. Maxwell, that's it. That's all you gotta do.
No, you're doing that?
Do like I did. Get rid of like 4 letters and a leg on the H.
Yes.
Yeah, do it like Robert. Just a squiggle line. And he makes pretty consistently.
Kathy, this.
Well, yeah, we took their.
Oh, wow, I got stuck with the center deal here.
Right. Okay. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, we're caught up now.
No, sir.
Well, good gosh
We're
almighty.
still working.
Run ahead and sharpen your crayon.
Yeah.
Ronnie's been prohibited by the doctor of having a sharp crayon. And I don't think that's nice of you to bring that up.
We're not even gonna talk about the clothes you
He eats.
eat. Yeah.
Did you do that when you were a kid? Really?
No, but I know what to do.
I did.
Yeah, all kinds of shit on that.
Robert and I got the memo today.
It probably killed brain cells
We
or
just had my
something.
finger was going exactly like this, and I would have my fingers crossed this morning when I left the house. I thought,
Oh, I love
hopefully,
covering my
No lie,
finger,
girl.
but I didn't eat it.
Yeah, like y'all, hey, like y'all.
Oh, Judge. Oh.
Hey,
Well,
tell you
no,
that mic picks up pretty good stuff.
I meant like a phone call. Come on.
Oh, there's Ronnie blushing again. Almost
Yeah,
budget
that
hearing
did
time.
very blush. I didn't know think anybody knew about that. Judge, what's the percentage now since they Democrats did that counter move, pulled that ace out of the hole? What's your gut feel?
I have that planned.
Oh, yeah, definitely. About what, 50-50? That's mine.
Yeah,
Oh, you
Is
think?
that yours?
yeah, I think,
50-50.
I think initially, I think it's gonna swing,
Yeah.
especially after that next debate.
Yeah.
I think.
Swing the right side?
Yeah.
Darn it. We had it, but they had a good plan.
Oh, I think we still got it.
Yeah.
I do, yeah. All right, Judge, we can move on to 4B.
Are you sure? Emergency
Positive.
amendment, we had an emergency amendment?
No, sir.
All right, good. There's some good news during this deal. Discuss and consider ratification of maintenance agreement between All Copy and Eastland County. And I will have a comment about that.
Okay, this is the maintenance portion of our copier agreement. You may have received one email that was signed on July 8th. One came to my office last week that was dated July 17th. So whichever one you have is the one that needs to be ratified.
Yes, it would be the one on the 17th.
Okay.
Yes. That's the one you signed, Judge.
So,
He signed both.
yeah, I'll end up signing both on the deal and stuff. I would ask that, and I've already told a couple of different department heads to start keeping a log of potential issues with that company. So the CPS is not going way deep in the telling a lengthy story, but CPS is having court here. So I'm in the conference room. Judge Barkley's a super nice guy. I don't have a problem doing that. But I'm in there trying to work off of my personal iPad, which is not programmed for the all copy. So, and I think it's no big deal. I'm trying to print a deal on a complaint that we got on floodplain. And I get up there, and they're all Epson computers. There's not one of them, except hers, that says County Treasurer. So I call them, and I talked to Ginger, and Ginger said, man, we've already experienced this because obviously when they came in and they programmed everything, you push all copy and that's what happens. The problem is trying to figure out if you're not on that program, because like I said, it was my personal iPad. All I'm looking at is Epson computers or printers. So I call them and didn't get the best conversation that I had with the guy, and I finally just told him, you know what? I've got a meeting at the sheriff's office, and I said by the time I get back, I expect this thing to be resolved. Naming the computer should have been done at the site.
Which office?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it had been. It's not. When
So
you go
if
up
we
there,
want to print, it's going to have a list of Epson, but it doesn't tell you if it's your office or the treasurer's office.
hey, if they programmed your computer, it will. Well, it won't. It'll just say all copy.
Yeah.
And that's all you know. But if you're coming from the outside in, like I was with my iPad, because I use my iPad a lot. And like I said, the reason I'm saying that, this is my iPad. So it's not something I gave them and said, hey, program this. And then the guy says, well, he said, Judge said, what you need to do is you need to be using the app and not the Epson app instead of the AirPrint, because that's a lot more reliable. And I thought, we'll tell that to Apple, because they seem to think they got a pretty reliable program here. And so I got them on speakerphone, and Ginger said, we tried to do that the last time they were here. Shelby and I both did, and she said the app wouldn't work. So like I said, I'm over there trying to be halfway decent with this guy, and I said, hey, look, man, I just need this thing fixed. You know, it's ridiculous that I've got to call you anyway. I said, you guys should have been programming that while you were on site. That should have been, hey, what do you want to name this printer? Okay, boom, 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 boom.
And they
nobody-
assured it that all of that was going to be done along with training and everything.
And it wasn't.
Yeah.
So I'm making that comment is that I've told department heads, I said, look, you're having issues with it. Don't tell me in 6 months you've had issues. I better see a list that you've had issues with it. And I said, we'll go back.
Well, and every department needs to be calling when they're having issues.
Well, you can mark that one down. That guy will remember that phone call he had with me. So I may not need to keep that record. He probably has one. So go ahead with your deal. That's the only thing I wanted to throw in there is that we've already signed it.
Ratifying it.
Yeah. Any
And that's 4 days.
comment, Ms. Key, that you need
No, oh
on
no,
that deal?
I don't have any comments on that.
Okay. No more motion to ratify. Did Robert grunt?
Yeah.
Okay. Second grunt.
Yes.
Andy? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Discuss and consider ratification acceptance certificate between Macquarie,
Yeah,
is that right?
yes.
Equipment Capital Inc. in Eastland County. Ms. Key.
I don't know if that's right or not, but that would be my guess. This is just the acceptance certificate for the copiers.
You emailed that out, right? Because I put received. Okay.
And it just needs to be ratified. It was signed on July 8th.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Raines, second by Mr. Wilson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. F, discuss and consider discontinuation of Lyric contract. Ms. Key.
Yes, we discussed this during budget hearings, but I need official action. And I just need to know if the court wants to continue with Lyric or just use the telemedicine off our Blue Cross Blue Shield.
I thought there was by not using that, we would save some money
Yes, it's $6.50 a month per employee extra that we're paying for the second telemedicine.
for the Lyric.
For the Lyric, yes. And if the court wants to discontinue the contract, I need to, or actually, the judge needs to give them 30 days notice.
What's
I'll make a motion to discontinue it and allow the judge to send me a 30-day letter.
Second.
okay? Motion by Mr. Raines, second by Mr. Maxwell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And if you will give me that letter, I will sign it.
I'll draft something, send it to you.
Yeah, or get Shelby and y'all can come up with something. G, discuss and consider discontinuation of Murphy consulting contract.
Yes, and this contract is an annual contract also. They require 60 days notice. We're paying $37,800 annually for their service, and I don't feel they're doing enough to justify paying $37,800.
I'll make the motion for
Motion to fire by Mr. Raines, second by Mr. Maxwell. All those in favor say aye.
And that's to send, the judge to send a letter
Yes,
as well.
the judge will need to send a letter.
And who's going to operate that?
Who's going to operate what?
Who's going to oversee that now?
We're getting minimal reporting from them. We can get the reports we get from Blue Cross Blue Shield or through TAC.
Cool.
And then there's the Mutual of Omaha contract and the EBC contract, and we can do those ourselves.
Okay, H, District Clerk Wendy McDade to file the order sharing salaries and order appointing county auditor.
Sorry, Ginger and I both missed that. It's my fault because I didn't catch it.
Ginger, what is a sharing salary?
sharing.
That was probably my typo.
Yeah.
It wasn't our fault then.
Wow, you just made a friend.
I'll make a motion to accept both orders.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Raines to share the salaries, and a second to share the salary by Mr. Wilson. All those in favor say aye.
Kathy.
Opposed, same sign.
certified.
Motion carries. I is discuss and consider paying the 8th administrative judicial deal, but I'm going to ask that we table that until we have our budget discussion on advice from the county auditor. So J, discuss and consider order of elections for November 5th, Miss Rogers. And we also have discuss and consider notice of election for November 5th, general election. And discuss and consider moving funds from judges, clerk, payroll to administrator, Miss Rogers.
The order of election needs the judge's signature for all the county positions, district clerk, sheriff, tax assessor, all that. That's for the order. The governor will order by proclamation the state level. So that, and then the notice of election lists out every position that's going to be on there, and the judge will need to sign that as well. So,
I'll make a motion for order of election.
Motion by Mr. Raines, second by Mr. Maxwell, to order the election. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Becky, did you get copies of those?
they went and I sent, I attached them, but
Yeah, I got them. I just
okay,
didn't print it.
okay.
We have to use long paper.
And that's the notice. And the notice hasn't been voted on yet.
We just did the order. It's two
Oh, did we?
separate.
I thought we did both of them.
No,
No, they're
Okay.
two separate items.
I know, but I thought we were being
no.
No. I'll make a
efficient.
motion.
I'll say that.
Motion by Mr. Raines on the notice of election for November the 5th, and a second by Mr. Maxwell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discuss and consider moving funds from judges and clerk and payroll to the administrator, Ms. Rogers.
Yes. There is $2,273.96 left in the judges and clerks payroll, and I'm asking that we use that to pay out comp time for me to get it paid down, and then that way I can start working on my PTO to get it.
So how much is there?
$2,273.96.
Any questions from the commissioners? Okay. Entertain a motion.
I'll make it.
Okay, motion by Mr. Raines, second by Mr. Wilson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
May
Motion carries.
May I make a clarification on that?
Yeah.
It needs to go to the overtime line, not the administrator line.
Okay.
I just thought of that.
All right.
How much comp will that knock out?
140, 128. Is that it? Wait. No, I didn't put it in here. It's like 124 to 128 hours. And that'll leave about 40 in there. And then I've got 217 PTO that I need to start working on taking. Well,
leaves about how much comp?
about, I think 20 to 28 something.
Not sure.
Okay. Well, I looked at it this morning, and I think it's between 20 and 40 ish.
Manageable.
Okay.
Okay, so do y'all want to change this
Do
for the
you
correct?
do you have the line item?
I sure do.
Okay. And can I mark through it and initial it? Okay. And may I borrow a pen, please?
Loretta will need that initial too. There you go.
Thank you, Kathy.
And on your motion and second, do you concur with the changes
Yes,
you
ma'am.
made?
Oh, he woke up.
I'm just scared about the yes, ma'am, and I'm like, I heard a grunt.
Was that a motion?
That was a
Yeah.
grunt. Another grunt.
That was him coming out of a deep sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grind, a snore,
At
whatever.
least you didn't reach
It
it
is
on the head for so long.
010-4900
Man.
154.
Get started.
Come to me about some time that she's planning on taking off. So
010-490-00.
hopefully that will. Is the
15400.
time taking off? Are you taking the PTO? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, well, I was waiting to see if this was approved. If not, it was going to be comp, and then because the PTO, it'll just stop accruing.
Yeah.
The comp time has to be paid out
Yeah.
if I go over. So, yes, there's going to be 6 days. That'll be
They'll come off the
PTO.
PTO deal.
in
Right.
August for sure.
Well, hopefully that'll get you down to something that's manageable.
Yeah.
You'll get that one back to Kathy.
Thank you.
Okay.
And
Good.
back. And because and I'm not lingering just because I've got a question for Kathy.
Would you initial, Judge?
Okay, so you get these and then you attest them, or
Typically, you bring them over and we file them,
okay,
and then you post them, or we'll post on the bulletin board for you.
okay. I've got to post them on my website too.
Okay, yeah, so if you want to make copies and have the girl stamp yours.
Okay. Now I can't post the notice on my website just yet.
Okay.
It's going to be later, but there's a first day, and off the top of my head, I can't remember what it is, but I've got
So long
it.
as I get copies from you, that's.
All right. So, all right.
Thank you, Becky.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so, M, budget discussion is needed, and this is where we will discuss I, which is to pay in the 8th Administrative Judicial District in the amount of $286,256.03. Before anybody thinks, it's not that much.
Yeah, I looked at the letter. I thought, what in the world?
Yeah.
I know, that's,
I kind of had one of those moments too.
I kind of threw up a little bit when I saw that.
So the actual amount that needs to go in is the $1,312.87, and that is on page 16 of the last version. And it goes to line 010-4350-40400.
What's the last four?
40400.
That's
Page
5.
16.
16.
Yes, sir. And I think the only letter I'm still waiting on is the letter from,
So we just say $285,000 for anybody that's making any notation here.
Yeah. Boom.
Just like that. Just struggle with pen. Boom.
Center for Life Resources. That's the only thing we have not received, so.
Okay. Don't. Well, if they don't get in pretty much, pretty close, that's what they're gonna get. Well, what were they at last year?
Center for Life Resources, or
Yeah. Well, you can get that to me later.
Okay.
I was just wondering.
and right now I don't have anything additional.
I've got some I want to add to.
I do too.
That's what that grunt was for.
Yeah.
When I woke up, I knew I was getting excited.
What page?
72.
Are you paving my road again?
Good luck with that.
RB2.
We don't have a smaller one.
On page 72.
Yes, sir.
What line?
I got about 4 or 5.
What?
4 or 5. Judge?
I got to catch up with you, man.
Hey, I planned on ending this meeting at 10:30, so you got 2 minutes.
Okay.
Let's see.
On fuel, I'd like to take that up to 45,000.
33,000.
33000.
What are you moving it to?
45.
Gee, you haven't even grown over there on that one.
Right below it, computer supplies 33800. Take it to 1400.
Are you getting a new computer?
Huh?
Are you getting a new computer, or is that
This is just supplies.
okay? Yeah, the cartridges are ridiculous.
Killing me.
1,400, you said?
Yeah, 1400.
Oh, I bet 14,000.
Internet service 42300. Looks like I'm gonna be just to 1450.
I'm sorry, how much?
$1,450. Take it up. Utilities, water and trash 44200. Increase it to 3,100.
Well, when all that 285,000 is saved.
Yeah.
This ain't much.
Just wait, mine will come next time.
And then equipment repairs 45100. Take it up to 40,000.
Can you,
From
30.
From 35.
to what?
From 35. It was 35.
What does it take going to?
40.
Okay, and then the utilities is going to 3,100?
3,100. And every time they pick up one of them dumpsters, it goes up. And it was like $1,200 this time just to pick it up. Bring it down. Then on radio equipment, 57800. Just take it up to 2,000. Didn't you say that'd give me 2 radios?
No.
Get you one.
One.
Just one?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
I thought you said there's 1,000 feet.
No, they're 1,500 plus 500 install if you're gonna get them to put it in. And as much as they cost, it's probably better to let them than you let them guys fire them.
I got one. Okay, well, let's take it to 2,000. I'll just get one.
That's the other thing.
15 and 5 to install it, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you take it to them,
Yes, sir.
golly, I need to get in that business.
You'd stay busy.
Yeah.
because there's a line.
Yeah.
I mean, because they've gotten
Yeah,
the days of back when Robert can remember is, you know, the SO probably used to put their own in for the longest time when you were swapping vehicles and stuff. So that's what I can remember as a trooper, we used to have to put our own radars in.
Yeah, the big
You're
deal
talking
is
about
now
telephopping.
is like on the blades and stuff, they're like 24 volt, and then you hook them up wrong,
yeah, short amount.
short them out, and then they don't work right.
Yeah.
We tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, pickups and stuff aren't that hard,
No,
but
they're
the
not.
equipment, you got to do it just right.
Is that going in a truck or is that going in the? Is there radio equipment in y'all's equipment?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, something about everything we got.
Yeah, everything but the brush cutter for us.
Yeah.
Same here.
That's well. I'm going to say if you didn't, that seemed like that'd be handy.
Yeah, we talk. I mean,
Instead of trying to call them on the phone or whatever, or
no.
signal them.
and most, I mean, I know the Cisco Fire Department has our channel in it, and most like the SO guys used to have our channel in there if they needed to talk to us.
I'm sure they probably still do.
They probably don't know what it is.
I've still got, and I haven't. I know y'all approved it, but I still haven't gotten mine in there. But that's what it was going to cost. It was $500 to put it in.
Yeah.
So I'm getting the radio from the sheriff. But, okay.
That's all I got.
Well, tonight,
Yeah. Really.
Shucks.
I know calculators will go out.
Would you like me to go next?
No.
You what?
County clerk's budget?
Oh, did you want to say something?
Yeah.
No, I'll just move with the table out. Okay, where you at?
I don't know.
And just your regular budget?
Yes, ma'am.
Page 7.
In line 486.
Ending in 48600.
Yes. Contract services Tyler. This is for my Tyler Eagle, which is my land records, vital statistics. I am asking for an increase, 4,500 or 5,000.
And from 40 to what?
45,000 or I'm asking to raise it 4,500 or 5,000 more.
Which one?
I'd like 5,000.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's it for my budget. This is kind of be a general. Tracy Parker has asked me to reach out to Tyler about an invoice that Loretta and them received from Tyler, and it's for Encode, and then the milestone details below it. So I reached out to them May, and the last email I had was June. The bill is for $31,020. I've had no response from Clint Griggs or Tyler Salyers on it. I had one individual, Terrell Thomas, said that he is looking into it. That was on 6/26. So it's an outstanding bill. And so I just wanted to let you guys know. Also in that email, I asked for the projection because we're during budget time. Do they see an increase? I haven't gotten a response from that either. So
Well,
I wanted to report to the court on that. And I will give this to Tracy and let her know that no response and that I did take it up with the court today.
well, if you're not getting a response on that, then they're not getting a response from me.
So I'm just.
I don't want to speak for the rest of the court, but
Well, this is on financial, and we paid them.
Okay. She just sent that to me in an email. I thought her original email was 60-something thousand.
Yeah, that's financial and it's paid.
Okay. Do you want to check with her?
Yeah, let me check with Tracy.
Okay.
Christine, stick around after the meeting, if you can.
What did I take?
It's informational only.
Okay. So other than that, that's it.
Well, you came in under James, so I guess we'll go and proceed with that then.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Okay, anything further on the budget?
Do y'all want to vote on those two for James and I?
Not really.
Hey, mine was just simple, and he's the one.
I just thought it made y'all feel better. I had no intention of proving it.
That's why I said.
Oh.
And I didn't even get any seal coating on my road.
Yeah, we need to discuss what was passed out today too. Before, I mean, y'all can vote on those if you want, but,
Not particularly.
okay.
Okay. Put it in there, done deal.
Ronnie, you gonna tell them about Bob's jacket there?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Wright, by Mr. Wilson.
Second.
Second by Mr. Crenshaw, because we gotta get him on the record somewhere.
Thank you, Wilson and Crenshaw,
All those in favor say aye.
and the rest of y'all.
Yeah,
Who voted?
motion carries.
Thank you.
What was it that you wanted to discuss on that?
Randy's.
Randy's letter and the rates.
Oh, yeah.
Are you looking for that quote?
The,
Can I ask you a quick question?
sure.
Did you say that I should keep the ones like the other one that we did? This is the newest one. Do I need to keep the other one?
That's entirely up to
I
you.
know, but I mean, what's
The only reason why I keep them is like I make notes. In them.
Mhm.
well, I do too. So I guess there is a way to probably need to do that then. So that was my question. Okay, go ahead.
The
Translate this for us.
total net taxable value is $2,584,172,809. I don't know if that is the freeze adjusted
No,
value.
it's on the back.
It's on the back.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. It's on page. 9's part of it, but the actual word adjust part is.
They must have got a new computer system too. We didn't used to do like this.
This is the new form. Yeah, I sat through a 3-hour training on it last week and I still can't find anything on it.
26 or item or line 20 is current tax ceilings. It's
On
200
page 9?
No, it's on page 3. I'm sorry, I
Okay.
backed all the way up to where it did it,
Okay.
where it made the deal. Or the way I look at it, it's the current tax ceilings adjusted value.
287,000.
Yeah. Then
So-
it goes down, then you drop down to the new improvements.
So the current year total taxable value will be and I'll verify with Randy, the $2,296,988,479 on line 21.
Yeah.
986.
Did you say 981? 986?
Yeah,
986.
986.
470. I may have said one.
She said 98, 988.
Well, I knew I didn't hear 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I like this new form.
Yeah.
It's very small.
No, you wanna see small, you'll see what I got provided last week at the EMS hearing. I'm not exaggerating, I'm on like a 3 font.
Oh, wow.
And I was sitting there, I couldn't read it. I would have had to have a magnifying glass. So the stuff they gave us today is a lot better as far as being readable.
And if you'll go to page 10, it's your no, right above the signature section in section 8. The no new revenue tax rate is 0.335036. The voter approval tax rate is 0.361853, and the de minimis rate is 0.359635. And that's the rate where the county can add $500,000 revenue.
On the de minimis?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Without a rollback election.
Yes.
So, Mr. Have you do this form here?
Oh, no, Randy Clark does it.
Randy does.
Mhm. He has all the information.
Right, yes, we need.
So the de minimis is below rollback, and it will bring in an additional 500,000.
Mm-hmm.
So just so y'all know, is that one of the things that's being considered, and I went to a meeting, I think about a month ago, on the emergency service district. So I know Chief Fairbanks over in Cisco is looking at pursuing that. The way that works, and I'm giving you my best recollection of what I was told, is that they have to get 100 people on a petition. They would come to the Commissioner's Court. The Commissioner Court has to approve. I think our involvement is from the voting standpoint of setting the election. And then they have an election and the city opts out. Then the people that are in the city don't vote for that. It just goes to the people in the county. It would raise around $500,000 for the Cisco Fire Department if they stayed with just the Cisco Fire response area. There's a way to go in and say and I'm not saying they're doing that, but I'm just saying you can have any kind of combination. They could go and say, hey, Rising Star, you and I, butt up against each other, then let's you and me go together. Or we're taking Carbon or whatever. Eastland could go in and take in Olden or whatever. But if they split it up like that, then that's potentially a petition that we would have to receive, that we would have to accept, and then we would call the election for that particular deal. I mean, that's not, if that's what they want to do, I mean, they're part of that election. Or election year, so it might be an additional election that we have to do. I don't know what the time frame is.
It can only be in the 2 general election days.
Yes.
May and November.
I misspoke. It's not special election. It's a general election.
Well, and I guess the petition will be presented to the voter registrar. They verify that they are qualified voters who signed that petition.
I would think so.
I would think so, but I don't remember how that went.
Figure it would probably be along the
And
same
then
lines.
we as a court discuss the feasibility of it, if it's going to be feasible to do it or not, and then accept the petition
Yeah,
to
she'll give
order the
certification.
election.
Yeah, it's the same, right? Yeah, she'll bring it to you guys and do what you need to do.
But he's talking about potentially it would raise $500,000 for them if it just stays Cisco. And what they would plan on doing is that they're planning on, and Eastland's talking about it, but I don't know if they're committed on it. I don't know that this is happening anytime soon. I'm just letting you guys know that that's in the works. And that was one of the things that I discussed with the hospital about this deal is you know what? You guys are saying you're trying to find grants and stuff. I think an alternate way to fund all of this is for you guys to have your own emergency service district. And then you guys can do your own thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then we would get out of the funding business completely because, and we would get out of the funding business for whatever fire department passed that ESD. Now, I will say that, let's say Cisco's the only one that goes, you know, that's 30 grand that we can say, well, yeah, we'll put that back in our pocket, but I don't know if we don't need to reassign that to some of these smaller departments that are strict, that don't have a taxing entity associated with theirs, like Olden, like Desdemona. You know, Ranger has got a taxing entity, Cisco does, Eastland does, Rising Star does, and Carbon does, but I don't know exactly if Carbon is funding their.
Rising Star don't fund there.
No, they don't. That's a good point. So anyway, that's all in the mix, and I don't know where they're at or where they're moving forward. I just know that Walter is moving forward on it, but I don't know how soon we would be looking at stuff that we would have to potentially approve. So I'm just giving you some of the backstory on them and the ESD situation with the hospital, which I don't know if they're going to pursue that or not. But the other thing to think about, and Robert and I have talked about this in the past, is I think we need to move forward with trying to recoup that half-cent sales tax that's being charged to the people in the county. That's the money that's already been collected, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So whenever you got a free minute and I got a free minute, we need to sit down and do that. The other thing.
You're talking about a comptroller, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it takes an election to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
About a couple 100,000.
But it's our money. They've already collected it.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already got it in their pocket.
Yeah.
But
And that's a rough estimate because it's everything outside of any city limits.
And then after that election and it passes, then it'd be an annually revenue, whatever they collect, they'd automatically send it to the county.
That's my understanding.
Or a quarter. Okay.
Yeah,
that's my
but
understanding.
it also figures into your tax rates in there because if you'll look on one of them pages, it asks for other tax revenue.
The legislature's going back at it as difficult as possible
Oh,
for
yeah.
us to recoup that.
Additional
But I would like to see us.
and tax sheet,
Okay.
page 7.
The other thing,
So it does figure into your rate.
the other thing is that again,
Yeah.
my focus last year was just on surviving the budget deal. This year I'm trying to be a little bit more proactive. But it's still like drinking from a fire hose. But I'd also, Kathy is talking about going to a collection agency, and Wendy, over the district clerk, is going to a collection agency. The JPs are already doing their own thing, but anyway, potentially that's going to generate some money on unpaid fines and fees associated with probationers getting off and they're not catching up. And is there another area that collections would benefit you, or the clerk, district clerk?
Yeah, most of them, if you give them time to pay, that they're not on probation, and that time just lapses and no one catches that money. And probation is the biggest part, where they go off probation and they sign off saying they paid everything, which they haven't. That's a lot of money right there lost with that.
Which we may or may not be able to
Yeah, but if you
recoup. But at least, again, going back to the hospital deal, or the EMS part of the deal is, let's at least try to collect it. Now, that money also doesn't cost us anything to collect it. It goes back on the person that they're collecting. I think it's a 30% fee. So if we collect any money off of it, I mean, it's money well spent. So, and just so you guys know, I told Kathy, I told the JPs, I told Wendy, because they're the ones, and we've already got, MVBA is doing our property collections. So what I told them as department heads, I said, you know, the worst thing I can do is tell you, this is the law firm that you're gonna use, because the first time they stub their toe, don't give them what they want, then I'm the bad guy, and I'm listening to gripes and complaints about, hey, if you'd let me pick who I wanted to. So I decided, you know what, whoever you guys decide to do it with, that's your choice, your department head. We still have to approve that as a court, but moving forward, that would be a relationship between those department heads and whatever law firm that they get. There's also, and the reason I'm telling you all this story is, I want to try to recoup as much money as we can before we have to start going to the voters and saying, hey, we need you to fund whatever. And also along the same lines, bless you, is the DA's office going after the bonds, because there's a significant amount of money there that's not being, that hasn't been collected, that in the process of being collected.
But isn't a portion of that going to fund that?
Yeah, I mean, that's why they're doing it.
Okay.
But it's gonna raise, from what they tell me, because those are kind of, some of those, I don't know that they've got hard numbers on there. They can give you approximations and stuff, but it's gonna more than compensate for what that costs. Is there anything further from the commissioners or questions or budget deals?
No, sir.
I think because Commissioner Crenshaw added some stuff, I think you guys ought to find a line item that we add $5 to or something, just so everybody feels like you got some love it. Okay, just $5 somewhere. Doesn't mean we're going to vote and pass it, but I just feel like it makes you feel better.
And on the budget calendar, the next thing Commissioners Court will need to do is on August 12th to make a decision on the proposed tax rate. But we'll have a meeting on the 5th and then a meeting on the 12th.
And on August the 12th, we'll have an 8:45 meeting to do my archive hearing. I know, we're trying to get that changed. It's ridiculous.
What is that for?
Y'all have to agree on a fee and then approve a plan annually.
I should find maintenance.
I know.
Oh, yes.
I know.
There you go. As soon as you get that done, you're done.
Well, that is copies of it around. Now a picture of something today. And get it.
All the pictures.
Everything else. Dropping that off in my office.
I would have been the one that, back in the old days, would have said, hey, could we come up with like an alphabet? Because I don't draw that well. That's supposed to be a buffalo, but it kind of looks like a rhino. Are you guys, while we're still talking about the budget and stuff, are you guys still kind of doing the inventory, self-inventory of where you think we're going to be in 5 years and where
we want to be or where we're going to be? That's two very, very, very different outlooks.
I kind of want to know where we got to be.
Yeah.
so we can start not getting hit, just, you know, everybody's maintainer went out at the same time. If Lonnie take care of his stuff.
I'm telling you, it's hard to get them to do.
Thank you.
We good to go?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Raines, second by Mr. Crenshaw. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Keep sitting here till 1:30.